Welcome everyone, and let your breath be your guide as we embark on this journey together. This is Yoga for Complete Beginners, a practice designed especially for you, whether you're stepping onto the mat for the very first time or simply seeking to revisit the foundations. Today, we'll be exploring 15 fundamental yoga poses, each a stepping stone on your path to greater flexibility, strength, and mindfulness. Get ready to breathe, move, and perhaps even surprise yourself with what you're capable of. Let's begin with the foundation of all standing poses, Tadasana or mountain pose. Step onto your mat, feet hip-width apart, grounding down through all four corners of your feet. Lift through the crown of your head, lengthening your spine, and gently tuck your chin. Relax your shoulders away from your ears, creating space in your neck. Arms by your sides, palms facing forward, allowing a subtle energy to flow through your fingertips. Close your eyes if you like and take a deep breath in, feeling your chest expand. Imagine yourself as a mountain, strong and unwavering. From mountain pose, step back into downward facing dog. Hands shoulder-width apart, fingers spread wide, creating a strong foundation. Step your feet back, hip-width distance, and begin to lift your hips up and back, creating an inverted V shape with your body. Press through your palms, lengthening your spine, and gently draw your chest towards your thighs. Keep a slight bend in your knees if your hamstrings feel tight. Gaze towards your shins, relaxing your head and neck. Hold downward dog for 5 deep breaths, feeling the invigorating stretch and the strength building in your arms and legs. From downward dog, gently lower your knees to the mat and come to a seated position. Cross your legs comfortably in front of you, resting your shins one in front of the other. This is Sukhasana, or easy pose. Rest your hands gently on your knees, palms facing down or up, whichever feels more natural for you today. Lengthen your spine, lift through the crown of your head, and relax your shoulders down. Close your eyes if you wish, and bring your awareness to your breath. Stay in easy pose for 5 deep cleansing breaths. Tree pose, or Vrksasana, is all about cultivating balance and focus. From easy pose, gently stand up, returning to mountain pose. Shift your weight onto your right foot and bring your left foot to your inner right thigh. Bring your hands to prayer position in front of your heart. For a challenge, raise your arms overhead. Focus on a fixed point to maintain balance. Hold for 5 deep breaths on each side. Chapter 5. Standing forward, bend, or Uttanasana, is about releasing tension and finding space. From tree pose, slowly lower your lifted foot to the ground and return to mountain pose. Inhale deeply, lengthening your spine, and as you exhale, gently bend forward from your hips, keeping your spine as straight as you can. Allow your hands to rest on the floor, shins, or blocks, wherever feels most comfortable for you. Let your head hang heavy, releasing any tension in your neck and shoulders. Stay in standing forward. Bend for 5 deep breaths, feeling the release in your hamstrings and lower back. Chapter 6, Cobra Pose, or Bhujangasana, is a gentle backbend that opens the heart. From standing forward, bend, slowly roll up to stand, vertebra by vertebra. Now come down onto your belly, lying flat on your mat. Extend your legs behind you, tops of your feet pressing into the mat. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, fingers pointing forward, elbows pointing straight behind you. Inhale and gently press through your hands to lift your chest off the mat. Keep your shoulders relaxed away from your ears and draw your heart forward. Hold Cobra Pose for 5 deep breaths, feeling the invigorating energy of this backbend. Chapter 7. Seated Spinal Twist, or Ardha Matsyendrasana. From Cobra Pose, gently lower your chest to the mat. Press back into Child's Pose, resting your forehead on the mat. Transition to a seated position with legs extended. Bend your right knee, placing your foot outside your left thigh. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and twist to the right. Hold for 5 breaths, feeling the release in your back. Chapter 8. Butterfly Pose, or Baddha Konasana. From seated spinal twist, release the twist and extend your legs forward. Then, bring the soles of your feet together and gently let your knees fall open to the sides. Hold onto your feet with your hands or rest your hands on your ankles or knees. Lengthen your spine, relax your shoulders, and gently draw your heart forward. Close your eyes if you wish and begin to gently flap your knees up and down like the wings of a butterfly. Hold butterfly pose for 5 deep breaths, feeling the gentle stretch in your inner thighs and hips. Chapter 9. Boat Pose or Navasana. From butterfly pose, extend your legs forward and sit up tall. Bend your knees and plant your feet on the floor, hip-width apart. Lean back slightly, feeling your core engage, and lift your feet off the floor, shins parallel to the mat. Keep your chest lifted, shoulders relaxed, and your core engaged. Hold boat pose for 5 deep breaths, feeling the burn in your core and the strength building in your abdominal muscles. Chapter 10. Side stretch pose or Parsvatadasana. Creating space, finding freedom. From boat pose, lower your feet to the floor and extend your legs in front of you. Come to a standing position and step your feet wide apart, about 3 to 4 feet distance. Turn your right foot out 90 degrees and your left foot slightly inwards. Inhale and lengthen your spine, and as you exhale, bend your right knee over your right ankle, keeping your left leg straight. Extend your left arm overhead and reach towards the right, feeling a stretch along your left side. Hold side stretch. Pose for 5 breaths on each side, feeling the release in your intercostal muscles and the lengthening sensation through your spine. Chapter 11. Legs up the wall pose, or Viparita Karani, gentle inversion, rest and rejuvenation. From side stretch pose, return to a standing position and find a wall space. Sit down facing the wall and gently swing your legs up the wall, bringing your hips as close to the wall as is comfortable for you. Rest your upper body on the floor, arms by your sides, palms facing up. Close your eyes if you wish, and allow yourself to completely relax into this gentle inversion. Feel the gentle stretch in your hamstrings and the backs of your legs. Stay in legs up the wall for 5 minutes or longer, enjoying the restful and rejuvenating benefits of this pose. Chapter 12. Child's Pose or Balasana. Finding comfort, nurturing your inner child. From legs up the wall, gently roll to one side and press yourself up to a seated position. Come onto your hands and knees, and then bring your big toes together and sit back on your heels. Lower your forehead to the mat and extend your arms forward, resting them on the floor. Feel your spine lengthen and your hips release towards your heels. Close your eyes if you wish and allow yourself to completely surrender into this pose. Child's Pose is a place of rest, relaxation, and gentle surrender. Stay in Child's Pose for 5 deep breaths, or longer if you like. Chapter 13. Plank Pose or Phalakasana. From Child's Pose, gently press yourself up to a tabletop position, hands shoulder-width apart, knees hip-width apart. Step your feet back one at a time, coming into a high plank position, your body forming a straight line from head to heels. Engage your core, tuck your tailbone slightly towards your heels, and press firmly through your palms, spreading your fingers wide. Gaze at the floor a few inches in front of you, keeping your neck long and in line with your spine. Hold plank pose for 5 deep breaths, feeling the strength building in your arms, shoulders, and core. Chapter 14. Reclining Bound Angle Pose or Supta Baddha Konasana. From plank pose, gently lower your knees to the mat and come to a seated position. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall open to the sides, returning to butterfly pose. From here, gently lie back, extending your arms out to your sides, palms facing up. Support your knees with blocks or pillows if that feels more comfortable. Close your eyes if you wish, and allow your body to completely relax into the support of the mat. Stay in reclining bound angle pose for 5 minutes or longer, allowing yourself to completely surrender into the pose. Chapter 15. Warrior 2. Pose or Virabhadrasana 2. From reclining bound angle pose, gently roll to one side and press yourself up to a seated position. Then come to a standing position and step your feet wide apart, about 3 to 4 feet distance. Turn your right foot out 90 degrees and your left foot slightly inwards, aligning your front heel with the arch of your back foot. Bend your right knee over your right ankle, keeping your left leg straight and strong. Extend your arms out to the sides, parallel to the floor, palms facing down. Hold Warrior 2. Pose for 5 deep breaths on each side, feeling the strength in your legs, the openness in your hips, and the expansion in your chest. Namaste, embracing the journey. Thank you for joining me on this journey through 15 fundamental yoga poses. Remember, yoga is a practice, not a performance. Meet yourself where you are today, honoring your body and your breath. Keep coming back to these poses, exploring them with curiosity and kindness. Until next time, namaste.